tried to read a little bit of everything, but of course there's some genres that I've neglected more than others, one of which is poetry. I've noticed this year that even though it's not an official reading goal, it seems like an unofficial one, as I've been making sure to incorporate different poetry at least once a month. Also because it is the Trans Right Readathon. When I saw this book at Birdhouse Books and Gifts, I thought that this was perfect for knocking out a new poet to get into, specifically because this one seemed to focus on the queer and non-binary experience. You Better Be Lightning was published in 2021, and it comes from a Minneapolis-based publishing company, but in poetry. Andrea's Gibson's poetry has been around for the last few years. Now, when reading this book, I felt that it is the more traditional speakable poetry, more like slam when it comes to structure of the stanzas, the power behind the message in the poetry itself and the symbolism that they use, and the natural rhythm of the words as you're reading them. What I also like about poetry is that it really gives the writer the ability to experiment with their own preferred writing style. There's also going to be the other style of poems that I like in here, some that are less structured. I like to see the words as they move up across the page. I like poems that can tell a story not only in the word choice, but also in how the spacing can form a foundation around what is being said. Since this is a book of poetry about identity, there can be some triggering subjects because, you know, society sucks. But this is a collection, and I think a poet that's definitely worth exploring, especially because there's quite a few poems in here that I feel like I need to go back to. Using the handy dandy table of contents, I made sure to highlight my favorite poems. Like all new discoveries, I immediately ran to the search engines to find out more about the author. The devastating news is that this poet was taken away from us too soon, as they have recently passed from cancer. My heart goes out to their family, to the community who is finding solace in their words. And not to be selfish, of course, it pains me to know that there is a limited amount of writing material from this author that we will be able to learn and enjoy from. If you're into poetry, you may have already been uplifted by their voice, but if not, make sure you check them out.